Coach Chryst, Coach Meyer just said that J.T. Barrett looks like he's good to go. Didn't commit on whether he's going to play or not, but it kind of goes along with what you said on Sunday. You expect him to play, but how have you guys kind of approached that from a preparation standpoint of which quarterback you'll see?
We've planned all week on. We know we're going to get Ohio State's best, and certainly J.T. Barrett's an unbelievable quarterback, and it's pretty neat what he's done throughout his whole career, and certainly what he's done this year. But and he's an important part of it. But you're preparing for their whole team, and certainly our defense is preparing for their whole offense, and they're going to have a quarterback, and we've got to be able to defend it.
Back row here to our left, Coach.
Paul, could you speak to how difficult it will be to replace what Xander gave you in the run game and your confidence level and Kyle Pennison to be able to step up in that area?
Yeah, I mean, Xander was I love what he's given to this team, and like every player that plays a lot and then they don't play, you miss that, and it's it is an opportunity for Kyle and others to step in and step up. And when I say others, I think that's one part that our team has done well, is that when a guy is out, certainly the next person in has a opportunity and responsibility to the team. But I think everyone, can help pick up the slack. And so, certainly really, I thought Xander was playing really good football. And so the first part, you're going to miss that, right? And you feel bad for him because he's missing this opportunity. But, others will step in, and they got to step up, and that's part of it.
Paul in the back here, same area. It's amazing how calm you stay in these situations. How on earth have you learned over the years to not get too high or too low and just be yourself?
Well, I think at the last part, it's important for you to be yourself, and the game of football is for the players. It's never been about myself, and it's your job is how can you help them maximize the opportunity that they have and coach them. And it's I think I've been fortunate throughout my career of being with other coaches that I've been able to see successful and be themselves, and I've been able to work for coaches that allow you to be yourself and want, more than anything, you want your players to be themselves. That's what's really cool about what we get to do is it's 110, 115 different people and coming together and being one team. And so, but what makes that team fun is all the different personalities, all the different styles, all the different backgrounds. Everyone's got their own story. And so I think it's just, it's important to be who you are.
Second row on our left.
Hi, Paul. Both teams obviously have very good offensive lines, very good front sevens. Is winning tomorrow just as simple as winning the line of scrimmage more than the other side?
Well, I think certainly almost every football game that I've been a part of, the offense, defense line, who wins that is a big part of it. But it's football's a great team game. It's going to take everyone in all three phases. But certainly, a big part of football is, what happens at the line of scrimmage.
Coach will swing to your right, front row.
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
What are your impressions of Dwayne Haskins? And also, 3 years ago, Cardale Jones came into this game. Obviously, you weren't the coach, but there was almost no film of him. How much does it help to at least have some film of him to prepare for?
Well, I think probably the right answer is in how you asked it and what it can be beneficial, and if you don't, it's certainly you want to get an idea of what you may see, but it's one piece of it, and I think you got to make sure that, you know, our group focuses on the whole picture. And, you know, anytime you've got some film, you've got an idea, but there's probably more to it than what you see. And so you got to be careful, I think, of trying to make such a big judgment, or this is what we're going to do, or this is what they did. It's, you know what, it's a really good team, and it's a really good offense, and we've got to be able to defend the whole thing. Yeah, he's really good, you know what I mean? And what makes them good is the whole group.
Coach will stay to the right side, row 3.
Obviously, coming into the season, you knew you had some decent personnel on defense, but how much has it surprised you how well Jim has handled the defense, considering, you know, just being in his first year as a coordinator?
Well, I think, you know, Jim's done a really nice job, and Jim has not done it alone. You know, Tim Tibesar has, you know, been coordinated a number of years. He's been really good, and Noki Brechterfield's, you know, I think one of the best D-line coaches in the country, and you know, I think Bob Bostad brought another look at it, you know, coming from traditionally in more of an offensive background. And so I've loved what Jimmy's done, and he stayed true to who he is. And I think our whole staff has done a great job of knowing our team, knowing our players, and helping them, you know, with schemes that they can do, that they understand. And it's been good. It's taken everyone. I guess that's my point, you know, and Jim's does a great job of communicating and teaching, all those, but it's, you know, I think our defense has been successful. It's been a good year. We're going to get tested in a different way tomorrow night, but, you know, what they've done to this point has been because of everyone, and certainly Jimmy's a big part of it, but it's players, coaches, everyone coming together.
Coach will stay in the 3rd row.
Hey, Paul, over here. You know, winning this game would kind of lift this program to the college football playoff, probably for the first time in program history. Do you guys feel that this is arguably the biggest game in program history?
You know, this game, we are really, and I know our team is proud to have earned the right to play here. And it's all about winning the Big Ten championship. And that's huge. And what comes after that, you know, whatever it is, we'll embrace it. And yet, the best way to enjoy the moment, and I think be the best in those moments, is to be just that, be there. And it's about tomorrow night's game, playing against a really good Ohio State football team. And if you win, you are Big Ten champions, and that's big.
Questions for Coach Chryst. Left side. We'll let Savannah get over there to you. Just a moment, please.
Following up on that, how do you maintain the focus? It seems like each week that you've been able to keep these guys focused on the very next thing and not looking past the bigger picture. And how do you work on that when a week like this is so big and the scrutiny is so much?
I think one thing is that that's always been our approach. And so whether it was a couple years ago, last year, this year, and what it really stems from is that these players spend a lot of time preparing for the season. And, you know, the team is, you know, on our schedule was 12 games. And yet the players aren't guaranteed those games. And the games are the best part of it all. You know, I don't think you know, if you were to ask a player what's the best part of playing, probably it's not winter conditioning, it's probably not spring football, it's probably not fall camp, right? It's the games. And to be able to get to play those games, not every player is guaranteed those games. You know, Jack Sitchie, captain for us, misses this whole season, missed 6 or 7 games last year. So you want them to enjoy and appreciate the opportunity that they get each week. And the beautiful thing about a season is it's a journey, but it's made up of, you can kind of put it into nice little, it's 1 week at a time, and then you take that week and it's 1 day at a time. And I think that that's how you enjoy it all. And I think that's also the best way to approach it and be in that moment. And really, nothing else matters other than that moment. And so why don't you be in it and make the most of it? And so when you do come across, whatever it is, if, and certainly there's, our guys are excited to be here. They appreciate it. They know it doesn't just happen. But I think there's a consistency to it and an approach that they're used to so that they can kind of stay the course and keep a focus on the now.
Coach will swing to the right, row 3 back there.
Looking back on that game against Ohio State at Camp Randall last year, obviously that was a high-profile game as well. Do you think that game kind of helped lead up to this year, especially for a lot of those younger players like Alex, who got that experience of that high-pressure game?
I think that every time a player, heck, a coach, gets to be a part of a game, you hope to draw something from it. And so, our seniors have more experiences to draw on. I think you take a little bit from every one of them probably. And so you would hope that those who played in that game took something from it that helped them go forward, whether it's that it was a quote-unquote big game or maybe it was something that happened in the game. Right? It's whatever. You draw on all your experiences, and that's, I think, one way that you can grow as an individual. And I know we got guys that try to do that, and then take away from everything that they do, and I think it's one good way to improve.
Go up one row.
Coach, kind of going off that question, you did lose very close games in the Big Ten Championship and to Ohio State last season. You have a chance to accomplish both of those things tomorrow night. How much motivation has that given to this team that lost the Big Ten Championship last year and lost to an Ohio State team where they had the chance to win both of those tomorrow night?
Excuse me. It's the same. If you were to ask, and we do, each player, what's their why? Why are you doing what you're doing? For every player, it's a different why. And we're talking about all those experiences come in. How do you handle it in this situation? It's not that simple where you just say, well, you can't make up for what happened, but you can learn from them. And I think every guy takes it differently. And so I would hope that all of our players take away something from each opportunity and that they can use that on the next game or the next opportunity that they have.
To the left.
Yeah, Paul, I was wondering if you could elaborate on something you said a while ago about your defense. You said we're going to get tested in a different way tomorrow night. Can you elaborate on what you mean there about, I guess specifically about Ohio State's offense?
I think it's really good offense, and we haven't played them yet. And, I think it's different than any offense we've played to this point.
Questions for Coach Chryst? To the right side, please.
Coach, this being a big game and you having a very talented freshman running back, is there any worries with that might get caught up in the lights, or is he showing this season that Jonathan can handle these situations?
I've loved the way that Jonathan's gone about this whole season, and a lot of people would argue that every game he plays is a big game, and certainly this one we're playing for the Big Ten Championship. And that's all part of, he has not done that. So that's a new experience for him. I've loved the way that he's approached every new experience that he's gone through this year. And you know what? He doesn't have to go through it alone either. I think our players do a great job of helping each other, passing along information, helping guys, particularly younger players, navigate whatever waters it is. Whether it's on campus, this class, whether it's, in-season workouts, whether it's how you film study, whether it's, what are the best places to go eat. I think our guys really do a good job of taking the younger ones and helping pass along information that eventually the person has to own. And I've really been impressed. That's one thing I think I've been most impressed with JT this year, is how he's been able to be in that moment and appreciate it, enjoy it, but keep working. And so I know he's excited.
Additional questions for Wisconsin coach Paul Chryst. Far right side.
Paul, Michael Dieter, what exactly has he done to contribute to this team's success? Obviously, he plays a key position on the line, but what stands out to you about the success that he's had to help you guys as a whole be successful this season?
Yeah, Michael's been great, and he's an unbelievable worker. He enjoys playing. He enjoys being with the guys. He brings great energy, and on the field, he's played center, guard, and tackle. He's a guy that will do anything for this team, and I think he's playing at a really good level. So he's a good football player, great teammate. I think he's a leader on this team. I've loved being around him, loved seeing his growth. We saw him his freshman year, sophomore year. This is now his third year. It's fun to see a player's growth, but he's a huge part of this team.
Left side.
Hi, Paul. Just you guys being 12-0 and going into this game, and a lot of people still saying, who have they beaten? And do you feel like you guys, your players, have a chip on your shoulder going into this game and wanting to prove that they're as good as their record indicates?
I know our players are excited about this game because we get to play against a really talented, well-coached, good Ohio State football team, and it's for the Big Ten championship. That's the focus. That's what they're talking about, and that's what we feel.
Across the aisle.
Hey, Paul. There was a time where the Big Ten championship was everything, and then you went to the Rose Bowl. But now you have the playoff out there. It's being discussed as much as your players, you want to shield them from it. Is that added a level of difficulty for you and other coaches, that it's not just about a league championship, but it's about this other system and getting into the Final Four?
I don't know I certainly can't speak for everyone, but I know what's in front of us right now, and that's it's exciting, and there's a challenge to that. And so it hasn't been hard for our group to be able to lock into this week and go. So I don't know if I can speak, nor would I want it for everyone.
Paul, right here, Ohio State has accumulated talent at a pretty remarkable pace in the recruiting rankings since Urban Meyer took over in 2012. I think that there's, without question, they're maybe one of the more talented teams, if not the most talented team in college football from a natural talent standpoint. When it comes to facing just natural athletes, good. So when it comes to facing natural athletes like that with the depth that they have, what different challenges does it provide or pose for you as a coaching staff to get them prepared, maybe even more so than another team that just doesn't have that natural ability?
You prepare to play the game, and it's a really, what you're saying, talented, but they're a well-coached, good football team, and it's a football game, and that's what we focus on, is how to play our best football and give ourselves a chance. You want to give them the best chance they can and go out and play. It's about football, and it's a good football team, really good football team, and certainly they've got the talent, but they're well-coached, and that's what you prepare for, is to play the game, and we want our players to have the best chance, and I feel good about the way they've prepared, and now we get to go play the game.
On the right.
Hey, Paul, along those lines, do you pay any attention at all to recruiting rankings, stars, et cetera? And in general, what do you look for when you're recruiting a player?
What we look for is, I think it starts, do you think they're a good enough football player to help you? And then it's getting to know them. Would they be a great fit for this team? And if they're a great fit for our team, then they still have to decide if Wisconsin's a great fit for them, right? It's two. And that's the biggest thing that we focus on.